And we are live. Welcome to another Super Galactic Saturday. I'm Jerry Sr. with Jerry Jr.
Good morning.
And it's another beautiful Saturday morning. And it's kind of overcast, kind of weird weather. This is Southern California. Sometimes it's sunny and sometimes it's gloomy. Today it's gloomy, but it's still moderate. Like it's not cold. So even though it looks cold, it's not actually cold. So it's kind of a funny thing. So, but any day above ground is a good day. So today is
It's,
definitely a good thing,
it's
and
the
I'm thankful.
illusion of cold. You're still going to be splitting buckets
It
out there.
is. It is an illusion. I mean, it's kind of apropos considering Hollywood is not far from here, right?
Yeah.
They're all about illusions, right?
Must be a sign.
So somewhat apropos, I suppose. But yeah, beautiful day, thankful, and yeah, man, you got a lot of stuff we're gonna touch on today, and I know you saw the thumbnail. Spider Noir series came out on Amazon, starring Nicolas Cage, and he was also the voice of the Spider Noir character
Yeah, in
from
the Spider Verse movies. Yeah, I
it's from the
remember.
Spider Verse movie. So um, it's kind of interesting. And what I heard is that he's a fan of comics himself, and I'm guessing he's probably a fan of this Spider Noir character as well. And so it turned out to be sort of this perfect fit, right?
I
So
guess so. I definitely believe Nick Cage over other people. And I say this because, a lot of it's kind of in fashion to be it's kind of in fashion to be a quote unquote nerd nowadays. So
this is
just
true.
because you say that you're a comic book fan doesn't necessarily mean anything anymore. That's why people were kind of upset with what's his name, Logan Paul and stuff like that. And it's not just him; it's a few other celebrities. You've got people like what's the I Show Speed,
Yeah.
and I think it was Megan the Stallion. They're trying to make their own quote unquote animes, stuff like that. I think I saw a video that kind of summed it up well as anime is the new mixtape. Like those guys on the street trying to sell you their mixtape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like anime is the new street mixtape. It's like buy my anime, buy my new mixtape. And it's like, all right, dude, chill out. And that's kind of how I feel about pop culture nowadays. Is that it's just a bunch of people trying to who want the illusion of being hip or
Hip.
whatever,
Yeah. Those
or in
hip
touch with
cats.
people when they're really
Yeah.
not.
I mean, that's the thing. That's why, like, at least with me, with us, I don't talk about everything because I'm not into it. So,
Yeah, exactly.
like,
Like,
when
there's
it comes
nothing
to
wrong with
games,
not being into everything.
yeah, I'm more casual when it comes to games. So I concede that to you because you are a gamer, you and your
Yeah.
brother. And like anime, I don't talk about anime that much, although I do watch anime,
I
but
mean,
I
you
don't.
talk about
I'm not.
animes you like, and that's fine.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I
you're
talk
not going
about
to
what I
like
feel
every
I
anime.
like, and yeah, I leave it at that. I always concede like it's because of you guys, especially your brother, that I got back into it. I used to be into it heavy when I was young, to the OVA stuff, right? And all that.
Hmm.
I would go to Suncoast Video, and I would get like the first time I saw Appleseed, I accidentally bought the Japanese, version, no subtitles,
Oh, the
right?
yeah,
Because I didn't understand at the time that I could have asked for dubbed.
right.
So I just bought it, and it was just Japanese, and I still watched it because it was still awesome. Like the animation was beautiful, and I,
Hmm.
I still followed the story. I think pretty well because when I finally watched the sub, I was like, oh, okay, so I wasn't far off in my understanding of the events, right? So that's kind of how I've been, and then I fell off, you know, I don't know, in college or whatever. But in any case, it was because of you guys I got back into it, right? Because you guys were watching it, watching anime
Right.
and stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. So I've been able to go, oh, you should watch these older ones that I liked, and see if you like it, like the Guyver and all that kind of stuff, right? So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Guyver, Robotech.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Which your
was it?
brother does not like robots. He's like, it's boring. I'm like, yeah, it is kind of boring. Looking at it now, it's like, yeah, it's boring. When I was a kid, I was like, this is awesome, right? Giant robots, explosions, death. Man, that was kind of crazy.
Now I haven't watched the Robotech, like the American version, in years, but I did rewatch Macross because I wanted to see the original Japanese version,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's
Macross
not
is good.
it's not too different.
No, it's not
Besides
dramatically
the
different.
names,
It is good
uh,
though. It's. I think it is better.
it's definitely boring in the sense that it's definitely more of a melodrama than it is a
Yeah,
sci-fi adventure, which I didn't
yeah. It
mind.
is. It
I
is
didn't
good.
mind that at all. I don't think
It's a
that's inherent.
melodrama with a sci-fi veneer.
Yeah, but that's not inherently a bad thing. That at the
No,
same
it's not.
time, though, the actual science fiction, it's definitely more fiction than science because there is like parts where I was like, wait a minute, that's not how space works.
Yeah, there is some. Well, yeah, there's some fantastical elements for sure. I mean, you
well,
got giant aliens for crying out loud. So
well,
yeah,
I'm not even talking about the obvious stuff. I'm talking about like Rick Hunter fishing for giant fish in outer
oh
space
yeah, that's
using a
well, the fact that
oh,
like
if I
that's
stuff these
this thing. I
if I
was
stuff
in
these towels
I
in
was in
my
seventh
spacesuit,
grade when I watched that, and I remember thinking, this is ridiculous.
it's like
Like
he
even
should
then,
die.
because
He
I'm
should
like
be
he gets in
dead.
his ship, and like him and Minmay are in the ship, and there's a crack
Yeah, they're stranded. Yeah,
in the ship's cabin, right on the window or
yeah,
something. And he takes his scarf and he just kind of tucks in it. And then,
yeah, like a Looney
okay,
Tunes
there's
show.
no way that's
It's
gonna
like
work in space.
um,
They would be dead already.
this isn't a roof leak, sir. This isn't
Yeah,
like.
exactly. I'm like, this is insane. So that stuff, yeah, you're right. It was kind of ridiculous,
Yeah,
but it was still fun.
it didn't. It didn't. It didn't
It
ruin
doesn't
anything
take you
for me. I
out
just
of the
thought it was
story.
funny.
Yeah, but it's still like, what the heck?
I was
Yeah, it
like,
was pretty wacky. But
no, that's not how that
but yeah,
works.
I digress. But yeah, so that's me. I'm a casual fan on a lot of things, and I agree with you. There's some, and I think among celebrity, not just Hollywood celebrity, but in general, even like YouTube. Yeah, I agree. I think there are some who are trying to kind of fake the funk, and
Yeah,
say, "Oh man, I've always been a fan of X, Y, Z," and it's like not really, maybe they're aware of it. Maybe they, like I said, casual fan. Just say that. Just I'm a casual fan. I'm not a die hard this or that. But they won't. They'll try to. So with Nicolas Cage, I don't know because it's true. I've never heard of him being a comic book fan until this project, right? Then it obviously gets leaked out or whatever, revealed. Oh, he was a comic book fan or something. Right? It's like okay. I mean, that's great.
yeah.
And it
I
kind of
mean,
helps add to some credibility, I suppose. But
so
looking at the series, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, what separates Nicolas Cage, in my opinion, is that because I remember an interview, and I remember reading an article. They were talking about having a black and white version of the show, and he was like, "Well, yeah. I mean, if we could have a black and white version and a color version, so ease fans into you know enjoying because not everybody has experienced black and white cinema before, so
Yeah,
we could make two versions to ease people into uh, you know into getting into like black and white cinema and stuff like that. And I read that was partly his idea, and which I think is
yeah,
cool. I mean, it's the same thing with they did with Godzilla minus one. So I definitely tell that he definitely cares about the project because of that.
yeah.
So
That's a fair point. I mean,
because he's like,
because
yeah,
you're right. They
if
didn't have to do a black and white version, um, but they did, and they played in, and it goes beyond just doing it in black and white. From what because I watched it. It's only about 8 episodes,
uh
um, but and overall I enjoyed it. It was very good. Um, but they really go in hard with the noir aspect, like not just that it's cut in black and white, or that they have the 20s or 30s, cars. Like the way it's shot is reminiscent of those old movies.
Hmm.
If you've ever watched, a Humphrey Bogart movie, or you know, you would kind of recognize certain cinematography that's used in shooting this series. Extreme perspective shadows and all that kind of stuff being cast.
Hmm.
The types of lighting being deployed. To foreshadow um, evil and good, and sinister intentions. Those kind of things are all employed in uh, this show. So it feels like it's now. There's certain scenes that from my perspective, that I watched that took me out a little bit, where it felt like the way it was shot felt kind of too modern, I guess, for lack of a
Well,
better
they
word.
kind of have to do that because it's Spider-Man. There's no way they're not
No,
going to
it's not.
sort of.
I'm not talking about the Spider-Man stuff. I'm talking about actual just scenes with two characters sitting in a cafe or something, or
Oh, really?
it's just certain scenes, the way they were blocking the camera. You know, it felt like, okay, this feels like a modern shoot. It doesn't feel like a classic movie. But then the next scene, it does.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean,
it
it's
was a
hard
little
to
bit.
do. I
It
would say
wasn't
the la-
too much where they took me out, but for me, it caught my attention sometimes. Where, oh, well, this kind of feels a little too modern.
Well, I mean, it's really hard to accomplish. I mean, I would say the last throwback film of that nature to really pull that off authentically, consistently, would be The Artist from 2011. It was a movie by French director Jean Dujardin. I don't know if you're familiar with Jean Dujardin. Yeah, he's a French guy. No, but he's a French actor and comedian. Yeah, yeah, it's just some random
Right.
French guy made this. No,
That's
no, he's a Jean Edmond Dujardin. He's a actor and a comedian, and he was in this film called The Artist. And The Artist is probably one of my favorite films of all time because I think it captures 1930s Hollywood perfectly. It kind of takes place. I seem to be a fan of like transitional movies in the
mm,
sense like it's a little bit of tangent, but I noticed that a lot of my favorite movies tend to are they're very liminal in the sense that they take place between the transition of time periods. If that makes any sense? Because the
yeah,
artist is about a silent. It's about a silent actor adjusting to the new era of talkies and stuff like that. So it sort of covers the fall of silent cinema, basically, and it's shot completely in black and white. It's shot it's shot to where like if you didn't know any better, it looks exactly like a silent movie, and it plays with all the silent movie tropes and mechanics very well in a way
yeah.
that's it's really beautiful. But that came out in 2011, and I think that was kind of the last movie that really pulled that aesthetic off, in my opinion.
That's good. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, it's not an easy thing to do because you have to kind of regress, right? And that's not always easy if you're using modern tools, because a lot of the visual aesthetics that we appreciate about a lot of older movies comes from the use of the equipment itself,
Well, yeah, it's
right? Like
also due to limitations and whatnot.
it creates that grainy look, or it creates that noir look and feel, and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, how do you replicate that in a digital age, right? And it's like that's understandable, But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, overall, it was good. And then there were certain parts of the series that same thing. It kind of, you can tell they were referencing more current day and not the current time period that it
Oh,
reflected.
okay.
Yeah, like there's a couple of scenes with Robbie, the reporter, who he's black, He's going to these more poorer communities, and obviously there's black people there, and he's talking to this one character. And I do have my criticisms of the show too, and that's one of them is how these characters were handled, like the villains. It's a little, we talk about the idea of sympathetic villains, right? And sometimes we're kind of tired of villains being sympathetic, being pain. And this is one of those instances where that does happen. And first, I accepted it because I thought, okay, this is kind of interesting because it was kind of this whole sleight of hand where you thought a character was evil, and it turns out they're not really evil, right?
Yeah.
That kind of. And so that was like there was one character that was trying to blackmail the mayor, and you didn't know that at first. You just thought it was some kind of innocent thing, and then you find out, oh, he's just trying to blackmail. So he's not this innocent character we thought he was. He was actually trying to just get some dirt on the
Right.
mayor, so he can try and blackmail. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah. So that was a nice kind of sleight of hand and that happened with a couple other villains. Both of which were essentially minority characters. So there's that that can't be helped but be noticed. And it was like, okay, so what are we saying here when uh, these characters who did pretty bad things? I mean, they destroyed property, they killed people,
Hmm.
and then at the end they just kind of go about their business. You know, they don't go to jail. It's like
Oh,
what?
really?
Yeah, it's it's kind of. I mean, the way it happened, you did kind of feel for them because like, okay, something happened to them that they couldn't control, right? That was true externality. Like this happened to them, right? This wasn't a consequence of their choices or anything. Right? It's like somebody did something without their consent, and it caused them to have this condition. And it's like, so yeah, you can kind of sympathize with them to a degree, to be, to lash out or be angry. But then by the end of it all, you're kind of like, well, okay, now after you come to grips with this, you still chose to do evil. Like you still chose to, you know.
Right.
So
So the issue, it sounds like, and this is obviously that's just with Spider Noir, because I kind of know what you're talking about. The issue really isn't about sympathetic. It's not really about sympathetic villains or feeling sympathy for the villain. It's about sympathy replacing justice, because a lot of
yeah,
modern rights
that's
going to do
a good way
is
to put it.
they
Yeah,
replace sympathy with justice, and you can't do that because there's a lot of
yeah,
sympathetic villains out
I
there that
agree.
still get justice, right? If you know the story of
Right.
Darth
Yeah,
Vader, you can sympathize with him, but you still understand that he's still the bad guy.
yeah,
You know,
that's right. And he still reaped the
freaking
consequences of his choices by the end.
yeah,
He chose the dark side, and the dark side fell at the hands of the rebels, and he was going to suffer that. But then he made the right choice at the end and saved his son, and
right,
he died, right? And
right,
so he was willing to die for his son, and he did.
yeah.
And that's a
Technically,
beautiful thing. That
freaking
ultimately, yeah,
Freaking Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a sympathetic villain. His dad was an alcoholic.
that's true.
Drove his mother to
He had
death.
a
He was poor.
terrible parents.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he had a terrible
Yeah,
dad. His mom was
yeah.
dead. His mom
Well, that's true. Yeah, his mom was
killed
already
his
dead.
mom.
Yeah, but he had
Basically.
a terrible father who had no like nothing. Like he even when he was on his deathbed,
Yeah,
his father was still a jerk to him.
yeah,
He had no and listen, but even in spite of his father hooked him up though, right? He's like, look, you can have a better life thanks to me, right? Take this note, go take it to Joseph Joestar, and you know,
right. But
and
yeah, but he was basically like,
so
yeah, take
so
everything he
even
has.
though his father was a thief, um, basically a murderer, a liar, he still parlayed that into something relatively good. Meaning, he said, "At least my son can have a better life. Like this is the one thing I've done where there's a net positive." But because he raised a terrible son, he
Yeah,
still twisted it into something terrible. Right? He
yeah.
turned out to be a terrible person, right? And therefore, it didn't matter. right?
Right.
He destroyed everything he could have had. So that's what's
Mhm.
so tragic about that. But yeah, I mean, there was, it's like you want to have sympathy, but
Right, but
it's
yeah,
like,
but then he kicks the
bro, it's
dog
like
in
you
the
guys are
first
just
scene.
terrible
Yeah,
people. Like, I don't know what else to say.
yeah, but that's
So
the
that's a
thing though.
little
It's
different.
like you don't like you understand Dio had a terrible childhood, but you still understand.
Yeah,
Well, Dio's
yeah,
also a
you
POA.
understand. Yeah, but you also understand that, and that's the beauty of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is that there's no apologies made for Dio. Dio is evil, right?
Yeah,
And he was evil from the beginning. And it's not because ultimately it's not because his father was terrible. It's because he chose to be evil.
yeah,
Because you understand, because he had opportunities to choose good, to say, you know what? Yeah, my dad was a jerk, but JoJo's dad is a great guy. And he's
hmm
raised me, he's shared his wealth with me. All these good things. I have a family, I have community, I have education, I have all the resources I could ever want in life. And I'm still going to choose to put this mask on and kill people. I
yeah.
mean,
I'm gonna
right?
poison him, or even before that, I'm gonna slowly poison him, and then blame it
Yeah,
on
exactly. I'm going to slowly kill him
Jonathan.
and take all of his money. It's like,
Yeah,
so he chose just to be an evil person.
like
Like it
no,
had
I'm
nothing to
just
do
gonna
with
kill
his
him.
upbringing at that point. Because when you're an adult, right, and they were basically adult, like they were in high school, they were probably what,
Well, they
18.
were in yeah, high school
You
then
know,
college. Yeah,
yeah, it's like you're old enough to know better. So, and that's what I'm saying. That's a great villain because at first you can go, okay, I get it. He had a rough upbringing. But
hmm
then at some point, there's a pivotal moment, maybe even several, and especially in this story, there were several where he could have chose different, where he could have just remained a bully, and that was it. And that would
right.
have been the worst thing, right? Okay, he's a jerk, he's a bully, right? But he's not a murderer, and he's not someone, you understand? But
Yeah,
no, he went beyond just being a jerk and a bully. He became a murderer, a murderer, a thief, a liar, all the terrible things, right? He became that, and that's a choice, and that's clearly pointed out in the series that he chose that. It wasn't thrust upon him, so to speak. And that's the thing that in this series in Spider Noir kind of happens, I think, with these characters is, yeah, certain things are thrust upon you. Listen, spoiler alert. If you don't want to know or you haven't seen it, I don't believe in non-spoiler commentary. So, but yeah, these guys get these abilities because their DNA is tampered with against their will, without their consent or knowledge. Right? It just happened, and it starts to manifest years later. And it's like, what can you do? But the to be fair, they were already working in the underworld.
right.
You understand? They were both like henchmen or whatever, for this mob boss. So they were already, even before they knew about these weird abilities, before they manifest, they were already living a life of thievery and crime. And, they were working with the mafia, that kind of. So it's kind of like, so yeah, why would I feel sorry for them? You know, like I feel bad that that happened to them, but at the same time, they chose a life of crime even before they knew about it. Like it's different if they were living these normal lives, like they were salesmen or something or working in an office. Then one day they turn to these monsters, and people are afraid of them. They get rejected, you know, shunned, and all this kind of stuff. And now they're on the outskirts of society.
Yeah,
And, and here comes this monster that says, "Hey, I can give you a better life. I don't care about your defects or their gifts because you're super strong and all this stuff, right?" And he throws a lot of money at them. That's different because then you go, okay, well, I kind of blame them because they had no other choice anyway. Like society threw them away and rejected them. And here comes this guy with a lot of money who's saying, "Look, just be my muscle," that kind of thing. And they say, "Why not?" Right? That would be a little different, right? Even then, it's still a choice, but it
right.
becomes an understandable choice, right? And then you can have a moment of maybe redemption where they turn away from it. That's kind of what happens, but I kind of feel like it's flat. It's kind of like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, and there was no attempt to make amends. There was no attempt to say, I'm sorry for what I did or something, right? Like, it's
Right.
just kind of, all right, I'm just gonna walk away. And like one of the
Well,
characters
I'm
literally just
guessing the
walks away.
justification is that because they're minorities, they had no choice but to do crime. So,
Well, I think that's definitely the subtext. I wouldn't say they were blatant about that in that way, but that kind of feels like that
wow.
may have been the subtext of it all, and that's why it's kind of like, yeah, like, what? Because like I said, there's no consequence. Like nothing happens. Now, one of the characters, he almost dies because he's in love with another character who's female, a female character, and she's kind of the pivot point of all this stuff. And you find out she was doing a lot of shady stuff. And that's another thing. Like I said, kind of a nice bait and switch where you think she's this victim and she's trying to, and she kind of is, but she's using nefarious ways to get out of this life that she doesn't want, right? Because she's hunkered down by this mafia guy, and he's so powerful she can't just run away, right? He's got too many eyes and ears, so she tries to kill him and all this stuff, and she hires somebody. And it's like, okay, she's manipulating people and especially men, right, to do her bidding so she can be free, you know. And at the end, Spider Noir, he kind of calls her on her BS, which is nice. He
Right.
does like you're just using people, like you're. There's a couple of scenes where he kind of, the subtext is that where he's like, yeah, you're just using people. You're not, you don't really care about, like even the last scene, she goes like, because he starts to fall in love with her, right? And you think maybe she's falling in love with him, but then you find out no, because she betrays him. And
Right.
so in the end, she's like, if things were different, I probably would have ran away with you or whatever. And he's like, yeah, right. Like, like I don't think so. And he walks away like, I'm not even going to give you the satisfaction. And she's like, F you or something like.
Mhm.
So she's kind of mad. So it was a great scene. It was like, okay, so he's not a punk. Like he's like, yeah, I ain't falling for that. And he turns, he walks away. He's like, whatever. So that was nice. So there's some, that's what I mean. There's some good, bad, mostly good. But those are things I noticed. Without going through the entire story. But yeah, there's a couple of bad guys where it's like, and there was definitely one bad guy who was just a bad guy, right? Like there was no like sympathetic backstory. Like I was just a regular guy. It was no. He had abilities. He liked having them, and he was using them to rob banks and enrich himself. So, and
Right.
he had no shame in it.
Right.
He used it to kill people, to harm people, whoever got in his way. You know, and yeah. So when he was defeated, it was very satisfying. It was like, okay, yeah, this guy got what he deserved. So, he's kind of, him and the mob boss are only two that actually got their just desserts, so to speak. You know, like the other two guys, like I said, they were like painted as hapless victims, but it's like, but they're not actually. They're willful participants. You know what I mean? Like at no point did they try to like get out of that life or run away from it.
Right.
Like they just stuck with it. So it was like, yeah, they're like the other one guy, he was a Sandman, and he was
Hmm.
just in love with the woman also, the singer. So it's like, okay, so he kind of did what he did for her, right? He was trying to protect her, trying to figure out a way to get out, that kind of thing. So it's like, all right. But he's still a mobster. I mean, like he wasn't trying to not be a mobster. He just wanted to be with her. That was really it.
Right.
So, and the other guy, like I said, he was kind of a lackey, and like, but because he was black, then there's this brotherhood connection between him and Robbie because they're both brothers. They even said like, "Hey, brother, brother, brother." Oh, it's like, oh my god, like nobody really talks that way. You
Yeah. No,
like
man. You know,
they'll just
man,
walk up to each other, "Hey, brother,"
what's good, my brother?
Yeah,
What?
it's
How about that gentrification?
yeah, it's kind of silly, but so
You don't go to people and be like, "Hey, what's good, my brother? How about?"
just the whole way it was kind of structured. It was, I don't know.
You don't walk up to your
Couldn't do
fellow
it. I
black man
just
and be like, "What's good, my brother?"
it's just I don't know. Like you don't have to do this type of thing. You can be better. And it's like, why? You don't even know this guy. It's just because he's black. That's the only. You just
Uh,
say it's a black man, and the thing is, there are other black men who are criminals, and you didn't go to them and say that to them. It was just this one guy, that you don't know and never met before. It's, you know, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be this way. It's like, well,
oh,
no, it doesn't. But you don't like what stakes do you have with this person? That's what I'm saying. It was kind of like, okay, whatever. But other than that, I mean, that's a small part of the story. It's not a major. So it didn't, for me at least, it didn't take away from enjoying the overall series. I think it was well done. Nicolas Cage is an interesting actor. He's very odd in his portrayal of this character. Like some of the things is you know, I kind of wonder they shied away from like the visual effects insofar as Spider-Man himself. Although they did have some sort of body horror type stuff,
oh
scenes in
yeah.
there. Yeah, they were really well done. I'm not even gonna lie. It was like whoa, like jarring, and which that was the point. So there were some scenes, especially the scene where he actually gets bitten by quote unquote a spider. It's not what you expect. It's
Oh,
not at all. Because usually you watch Spider Man, you watch Spider Verse, and it's always this spider that gets zapped with this radioactive energy or something. Then it crawls around and it finds Peter Parker or Miles Morales and it bites him on the hand, right? Or bites him in the shoe, whatever. And then
right.
they pass out or something and have a fever dream.
Yeah.
This was not that.
Oh,
This was not that at all. This was that times 100. Like, it was kind of wild. I was like, yo, this is not what I expected. It was really, really like out there. Which, like I said, speaks of sort of the genre and the time period and those kind of movies where they're so far fetched. Like if you ever watched The Outer
oh,
Limits
I see.
TV series, that's from like the 40s and 50s, right? And
Hmm.
it's always these very outlandish scenarios with aliens or weird creatures, that kind of stuff. And that's the feel I got watching this too. Like definitely paying homage to those type of things, right? And I can't think of the name. I always forget the proper term for body horror, but that's what it
Oh,
was.
you mean like gore and stuff like that?
Yeah, but not just gore. It's a certain term. It's based off of the creator, the director used to do it all the time. I don't know why the name's on the tip of my tongue and I can't remember it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But yeah, it's that kind of body horror. So if you know what I'm talking about, put it in the comments. But I wish I could remember it. Rick and Morty did a spoof on it in a few of their episodes. Actually, it's kind of
Oh,
funny.
really? Okay.
Yeah. Uh, but anyway, but yeah, there was a little bit of that in the series, and I like that. That made it a little more fun and interesting because for me it made me want to see more. Like, oh, what else are they gonna do? Like
Mhm.
I want because what they showed, and that I don't want to spoil because I want where if you haven't seen it, go watch it because the scene where he gets bitten is out there. It's like what? It's completely. It was so jarring. I was like, what the heck? Totally worth it.
Okay.
So especially if you like that kind of stuff, like body horror, crazy stuff, that that's very satisfying. So there's, like I said, there's a few scenes like that. Not to that extreme. That was probably the most extreme one, but there's others too. But yeah, so but yeah, overall, I give it like a B plus. You know, it was a good series. It was fun to watch. I only watched it in black and white. I didn't watch it in color. So I don't know how good it looks in color. It looked great in black and white to me. Um,
Nice.
and like I said, there was only maybe a couple of scenes where it was. I kind of felt like it pulled me out a bit because it looked a little too modern. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just in relation to the cinematography itself. how it was shot. It just
I mean,
felt a little
I mean, it's
too.
hard to pull off, like I said.
Yeah, like, but everything else, like especially when they're out on the street and everything, and a lot of stuff happened outside. It looked really good. It really looked great. The set looked really well done. Um, yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. I hope they do another season because it was fun. It was nice to it's a nice piece of escapism. You know, and it had a little bit of mystery in there and everything. Um, yeah, I mean, it wasn't like super deep, but it was a good watch.
Well,
Yeah,
I
there was
mean, it
some
doesn't need
that
to be
had some
super deep,
interesting
but I think,
ironies. You know, yeah, it was good. And you know, surprisingly, while visually it was very striking, it didn't go too heavy with like VFX, at least in the sense of it being very obvious VFX.
yeah.
You know, a lot of it was done well, where you're not even thinking about the VFX. You're just
I mean,
watching.
that's the best kind.
Yeah. And one thing to note, he doesn't become Spider-Man very much. Not as much as I thought he would. I actually expected him to be Spider Noir like almost the entire show, but he wasn't. It was kind of more intermittent. So
Okay.
yeah, so it kind of makes you want to see more because you definitely want to see him take down more bad guys and do more stuff, swing through the city more, that kind of stuff. So, but overall, it was a good watch. Yeah, definitely B plus, so, solid B plus. And yeah, that's my take. But I say go watch it. It's worth it,
Okay.
especially for a new show, something you haven't really seen before. You know, yeah. And Nicolas Cage was great. I think they
Well, I
aged him
mean,
because he's
he's,
up there in age, right? He's like in his late 60s or somewhere.
oh, really?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's as old as Tom Cruise, right? So, Tom
That makes
Cruise is in his
sense.
60s. So, yeah. But he looked great, so they did a good job with all that. It's not jarring, so you know.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like I said before the stream, I'm kind of done with Marvel. Um, I kind of. I
Yeah,
never really cared to begin with, but I know that.
this isn't like Disney Marvel though.
Well, I know that's
This
what I was.
is,
That's what I was
this
getting
is
at. Is that
Sony. This is and so for me, I was more open to it because it was something very different, and
yeah,
it
no,
was
I get that.
Marvel. So
And to
I
be
was willing to
fair,
give it a chance.
yeah, and to be fair, they have a better track record with, well, with Spider-Man, sort of. I mean,
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I think so.
I mean that's
There's been a lot
debatable.
of hit misses for sure with
I
Sony.
mean,
So
the only two really good movies they made were the Spider-Verse movies, and everything else has been kind of trash. I mean, Venom, like I know we
yeah,
talked
Venom
about
was
Venom, but
Venom was
Venom was okay. Like it was fun to watch,
yeah, it was good.
and which
And
is
even the
fine.
last one they did, I think, was okay too.
I don't know. It
The
didn't look
last one,
very interesting. Like
it was
I'm not,
okay.
and it's not because like it's like you said, it doesn't have to be deep or anything, but like
No, it's
um
just yeah, it just wasn't a. It's like the first one was more fun, um, and I was more interested in seeing where it took things.
well, I'm not interested because there's no Spider-Man. Like why would
I
I
know
watch?
that's what was disappointing. I wish they had figured out a way to wrap it all into their own Spider-Man universe. I
Yeah,
don't. I mean, I understand they did a contract with Disney Marvel to have Spider-Man in their universe, but I'm like, you could still do a version of Spider-Man in your universe, couldn't you? Like, it doesn't have to be that Spider-Man. It could be your
right,
version of Spider-Man, and it
right.
could be based off of some other, Spider-Man run. Or, you know, it could have been Ben Riley's. I don't know, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like they did with Spider Noir. You could do,
it's like Venom doesn't make sense
and still
without
have
Spider-Man.
Venom in the universe and Carnage and all
It's
those
like
things
it's like
in the same.
making a Bizarro movie without Superman. It's like
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
agree.
make
Yeah,
sense.
it's kind of silly, right? So
So
I
it's like
don't
I
know
don't
why
care.
they didn't do that. Why they
You
didn't
remember
just do
they,
their own version of Spider-Man.
yeah, like they
So
did the same thing with Madam Web and was
yeah,
it Raven the
and it
Hunter?
wasn't even well. At least the Matter Web I'm familiar with is from the animated series, I'm like, it's not even that Madam Web. Like,
It
it's a
was
whole other.
vaguely that Madam Web, but not really.
Not even close. Not even close.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close to being Madam Web. At least what I'm familiar. Maybe in the comics, I don't know, but from what I remember in the cartoon series, it was a whole. She was an old lady in a spider chair. She was from the distant
Yeah.
future. She was closer to like a sorceress type, or a witch even, than what they portrayed in the movie, where she was just modern woman.
It's just a person.
Has
Yeah.
questions. Yeah, it
That's the
was.
thing. They
What?
keep
What is
they
this?
keep making these spider adjacent movies without Spider-Man, and they're
Yeah.
pretty bad.
I'll be
Like
honest. I don't have a problem with it, but at least try. At least a stick to the correct continuity, and B, tie them all together into one universe so that they can coexist. So that way you can do a big movie with Spider-Man and these characters, being portrayed. You know what I mean? Like you can bring them all in, but it's like it just lacked the imagination. Like that's it. They just lack the imagination to do it. Why? I don't know. It's kind of ironic. People in the creative industry who lack creativity. It's the
yeah,
weirdest thing. It's like, and it's such a slam dunk. It's Spider Man. You've done it twice already with Tobey Maguire's, Sam Raimi, which were great, and that deviated from Spider Man lore, right? Like he didn't make his spider shooters. It was like organic webbing. People are like, that's kind of weird, but they made it work, and the movies are great, right? Because
yeah.
everywhere else they touched was accurate, with the villains and everything. So it worked quite well. And even with the Amazing Spider-Man, right? I don't think they were as good as the Sam Raimi versions, but they were still pretty solid, you know.
Oh, the
But
first one was
yeah, especially the first one, yeah. So it's like I don't know. I feel like they just don't know what they're doing with Spider-Man for some reason. They got lucky with Sam Raimi, and I don't know why they didn't continue forward with him, even if they recasted Spider-Man, from Tobey Maguire to someone else. That's okay, but maybe they should have stuck with Sam Raimi because he seemed to have a good handle on it, you know. And he was a comic book. I mean, you know, he was a comic book
I
fan.
mean,
So
he made it pretty clear just through the
yeah,
production.
he's like, I literally read comics, brushed up on the lore, like so. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird, but this one, Spider Noir, it's not bad. It's B plus. I hope they do another season and it's even better, the story and everything. So it definitely can get better because it's not terrible. It's actually watchable and it's fun. It's a fun watch. So we'll see. You know, I mean, getting Nicolas Cage in it, it's probably not cheap. So
Yeah.
there's got to be a return, right? Uh, so I don't know how it's doing so far as like viewership. It'd be interesting to find. I haven't heard a lot of buzz about it. In fact, I haven't heard. I've only heard maybe Film Threat uh, with Chris Gore. Shout out to them. Talk about it, and it was generally positive. So, um, and like I said, I'm of the same mind. Like, yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. So, you know, check it out if you want. I think it's worth the time. You know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I wish it was more spectacular than it is, but I don't know. Nowadays, I think they also kind of play things safe, with storytelling and everything. So they're not going
I
to
mean,
go
that
too
doesn't
far.
surprise me.
Yeah. So yeah, but moving along, there's a few things you wanted to touch on. I know there's a trailer, right? Um,
Well, I sent you a few trailers, but there was a lot
yeah,
of game announcements this
yeah,
week,
some
and
games, right?
it's about that time of the year where we get a lot of game announcement.
Yeah,
So I
it's
just wanted to
summertime.
highlight the ones that I care about, like Cuphead. We're getting a new Cuphead game. So if you want to pull that one
Yeah,
up,
that's actually it looks pretty cool, actually.
yeah, are you able to
Yeah,
pull the trailer up?
yeah, I can. Give me a second. I got so many tabs open. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah,
I think I
Cuphead.
sent you the. I sent it to you on Discord.
Yeah, I have it here.
Gotcha.
Let's give you a second. But this is actually nice to see.
I
Um,
know it's actually a brand new Cuphead game because
yeah,
we got Cuphead and then we got the DLC, which was practically a brand new game, but it was DLC. It was a lot for
but
DLC.
I like the approach though because it's still playing into the nostalgia, and the retro aspects of it.
For sure.
Now in development at Studio MDHR. It's Mighty Cuphead Adventure, a new fast action platform shooter with arcade quality graphics and amazing sound. Mighty Cuphead Adventure.
Only from Studio MDHR.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was straight to the point, but the
Well, no,
game
but
looks
it's
great.
like it captures that early '90s vibe of advertisement for games or for toys. Like like if I didn't know any better and I saw this, I would go, I don't remember that, but man, that must have been like 90, 91. Like, you understand what I mean? Like, if I
Hmm.
didn't know, that's how authentic this looks. Like, it's like it just captures it so well. So they fast forward into late '80s, early '90s VHS quality advertisements, right?
Yeah,
So this is cool. So it's kind of exciting to see how how the game itself will manifest, because it's going to be this so it's side scroller or whatever, right?
boy, it's probably gonna be a
Arcade
side-scrolling shooter.
arcade
Like,
quality uh, video game, right? Like that used to be a brag, right? Like arcade quality. So
mhm.
that's pretty cool, very clever. So yeah, I'm kind of excited. I'm not
Yeah,
even
it
a big
looks
Cuphead
awesome.
fan.
I wonder if it's. It looks like just I don't know if I wonder how. I'm curious to see how difficult it's going to be in comparison the uh, to the original game. If they're doing like a sort of a like it looks like they're playing on the whole like it's like an NES port of an arcade game
Yeah.
mentality. So I wonder if they're gonna tone down the difficulty a bit because Cuphead was pretty hard.
Oh,
Cuphead
really?
was like Metal Slug and Contra and uh, Gunstar Heroes
Yeah.
and a bunch of other games like just blended in a smoothie, and it was pretty hard. I beat it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
overall though it looks cool. I like the sprites. Normally I'm not the NES look is pretty played out at this point. There's a lot of retro games that kind of go that aesthetic, which isn't bad. I like the NES. I had an NES, but I think the way the game looks, it still looks pretty cool. So I'm pretty excited. Yeah, like that's the not the first boss, but like probably the most popular boss from the first world is the giant carrot, or whatever, from the first game. So like I said, it looks like it's gonna be like a almost like a remix of the first game. Um, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully they'll add new bosses and not just recycle old ones.
Yeah. But this looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Very clever
I'm still pretty excited for it. I'm just glad they're still making games. There was a rumor that they were gonna make like a Mario Kart clone, which
Oh, really?
that would have been crazy,
I can see.
like
Yeah, I
in
can
the
see
rubber
that.
hose style.
Yeah, I can see that. That would be good. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's in the works.
Yeah,
That would do gangbusters for sure.
yeah, that would have been pretty nuts. So that one was pretty cool. And then there was also, um,
What?
I don't know if you see Well, actually, let's play the. Did you? If we could pull up the Toy Story trailer.
Oh yeah.
So this is cool. We've been getting a lot more retro collections lately, and this one is for all the old school Toy Story games. So this has Toy Story. Let's see.
To infinity and beyond.
We'd always try new things, right? If we're making any kind of game, it's like, well, what can we try that's new?
They're a notch above everything we've been seeing up to this point.
This is different. This is gonna be special. We were trying to just make the best Toy Story game that was ever made.
That's oh. That's new stuff.
Entering debris field.
Oh, story, of course. And not this year too.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good package.
I would say so. Yeah.
So yeah, it's the original Toy Story game on the Super Nintendo, Toy Story 2 for the N64. Apparently there was a kart racer that came out. I never played that, and Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, but
Buzz
some
Lightyear.
of it I recognize because you used to play.
So I used to play the. I think my cousin
Yeah.
had a Toy Story because he had a Super Nintendo, and
Yeah, you had the
Uh,
DVDs. We had the for the PC, and you would play on the computer.
oh, you mean the interactive like the we
we'd
had
go into
that.
his room and then into the other kid's room. I forgot his name, but
I was
kid
thinking of so whenever we go to Blockbuster, one of the Blockbuster like staple games it was all that we always rented was like Donkey Kong 64, Luigi's Mansion, and Buzz Lightyear. I always got Buzz Lightyear from Blockbuster, or not Buzz Lightyear, the Toy Story 2 game.
Toy Story, yeah, that was the 64. Yeah,
Yeah, so I played a lot of. I didn't get very far, but I played a lot of the N64 game. So it's cool that they're doing a remaster. They're doing a like a collection, and then the Toy Story 3 game is cool because I actually read that was a pretty good game. I don't think most people played the toy box mode. And that one was apparently it was pretty cool. I mean, it was kind of like a sort of a
that was
like
kind
an
of
open world kind of thing because it was based off of Andy's imagination.
there was a version of that on the DVD on the PC version. Like it was like I said, Andy's room and all these little mini games, and I remember that because I used to play that for hours. That was sort of the first taste of the Toy Story games. Because the movie was everything for a while. You had the dolphins and you had Woody, you had Buzz, you had the Sneaky Dog.
I had like 7 different versions of Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, the race car. We even had the little aliens, right? Yeah, those.
Yeah. Martians. Yeah, most of that. If you couldn't like, I had like 5 or 6 different versions of Buzz Lightyear. I had the classic one. I had there was like a red Buzz Lightyear.
You had like a mini one, like a small one, and you had a
Yeah, it was the red one. I think it was called Solar Patroller Buzz. It was like big and bulky and red.
yeah, you
I
had a
had like
stuffed
this.
one, like a plushy one. I
Oh
remember
well,
that.
yeah, sure, maybe. I don't remember that one. I remember playing with the
Oh
red
yeah,
one a lot.
you had a plushy one. You had the Woody. Yeah,
I had
you
a,
even
yeah,
had the sheets, the
I
red
had
sheets.
a. Well, hold on a second. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember all the buzzes I had. I had the Solar Patroller buzz.
You
I
had too
had.
many buzzes.
I mean, I did. I had it was like a chrome buzz. It was like black and
Yeah, I forgot
chrome.
about that. Yeah,
And it came with like a Space Woody doll.
that one like lit up and yeah, like all these extra lights and stuff. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, and I had a whole bunch of Buzz Lightyears.
Yeah, we were Toy Story crazy for a while when we were a kid.
And of course, I have Woody, so yeah, I love Toy Story.
I think you only have like one Woody.
I had we had a big Woody for a while, then I had a small one,
Yeah.
and then I had a Space Woody, and that came with
Yeah.
my Buzz Lightyear set. I remember that.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. But
I love Toy Story.
yeah, Mecha Missionary is bringing up God of War. Kratos.
Oh,
He's got
yeah.
it on game. That's right. I actually almost forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a big God of War fan, so I didn't really care.
Yeah, I same here. I mean, I like God of War, but I'm not hardcore. But it's definitely a really cool game. And I heard it's kind of mixed reviews, I guess, or reactions, because a lot of people see it as more girl boss, him and his wet dream stuff. Right? And the argument is, well, I want to play as the God of War in a game called out. Right? I don't want to play as a woman. And it's like, yeah, I get that. Others are kind of like, you know what? I watched the trailer. It looks pretty cool. I don't have a problem with the wife as a character because she is part of the narrative overall in all the games, right? So
well, I mean, in the
there,
context,
it kind of it follows some of the story in a way. So
well, then in the context of the new games, I think she's dead because.
No, I know she's dead, but what I'm saying is that things that she did sort of pre God of War adventure set up the adventures, right? So that makes her a key character in that sense. So if you're doing a game that somehow is a prequel to these games or some type of extension where maybe she's brought back from the dead or something, whatever the case may be, it follows the narrative from what I'm saying. It's not.
No, I get that, yeah.
And so some people who are fans, and I've talked to them, they're like, you know what? I'm here for it. I kind of like it, so I'd rather wait and see it when it comes out and play it for myself and see if it's good. I don't want to just dismiss it offhand just because it's a female lead. And then there's others who, and I think Mecha Missionary pointed out in one of his comments that they're like, she does not look very attractive. So that's kind of surface level, complaint. Like, at least make her attractive, because there's this kind of trend in mainstream video games. For some reason, a lot of these games choose to make their female characters unattractive, right? Like objectively, like we're not talking about hypersexuality or anything. Like we're just saying, just make them pretty, and for some reason, there's a resistance to that.
Well,
it seems to be a trend. So
it's mainly an issue. It's mainly an issue in Western games, but
yeah, it seems to be specific to Western games. Not sure why. Well, I think I have an idea why that is. And on that front, I'm kind of with the gamers. Like, yeah, stop uglifying characters that, especially characters that are known to be attractive in previous iterations and across other mediums. It's like, yeah, make them attractive. It's okay. It's
I mean,
not.
I don't really care too much about it. My only, I think most people's concern is kind of what we talked about. Well, I don't know if we talked about it before, or no, we did. We talked about it with Spider-Man. Is propping the new character up by uh, pushing the old character down. Well, that was the right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. Stop subverting the original character with a gender swap character.
well, it's not
You know,
just a gender swap. It's like you said with Miles Morales. Like they didn't prop up Miles. Like they propped up Miles Morales while still respecting Peter Parker. And
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. I think in this iteration of God of War, um, at least off initial observation, it doesn't appear that they're bringing his wife to somehow subvert Kratos, right?
yeah,
It's not that at all. It's simply an addition to the overall story. That's at my first impression. So we'll see once the game drops and people play it, what it actually is. But so far, it doesn't appear to be like, oh, he couldn't do it, so a woman has to do it. That kind of, I don't think it's that. At least that's not my impression, and not that of a lot of people. So, and that's kind of the point, Maker Missionary. Her face model, the actual model they use for her, uh, uh, is actually a very beautiful person. Like she's good looking. So it's like, so you're using her as a model, an actual attractive female in real life. But then when you make the model, you purposely make the model unattractive. So you create an unattractive version of an attractive person. It's like, why are you doing that? Like it's not like you don't have the inspiration, right? And so, and that's kind of the gripe of a lot of gamers is, especially in light of that. I mean, that's not the first time. There's been other games where that's been the case, where you look at the original human model and you're like, she's beautiful, right? Okay. Then you look at the game asset and it's like, what's going on here, right? Like what are we doing? So it's definitely an intentional thing that they're doing. Question is why? On the surface, it really doesn't make a lot of sense, right? So clearly there's some type of agenda at play. Right? As always with this stuff, there's some type of agenda. So, but yeah, that's a very very good point. Um, but yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I'm hoping it is just a good game and it's just a cool story featuring his wife. So now you got the whole family, right? The father, the kid. Then maybe the next game it'll be all three of them. That'd be
yeah, we'll
awesome.
see.
Promoting family, right? Like that would be kind of cool, right? So,
Hmm.
so we'll see. Hopefully, that's the direction they're going. It's like, hey, eventually, guys, we're gonna figure out a story that has all three of them in there working together, having an adventure as a family, right?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. So we'll see. But yeah, that's a good point. I actually almost forgot about the God of War, the new God of War game coming out. So I hope it's good. Like I said, there's some folks who are, they're like, okay, I want to give it a chance. I don't want to just dismiss it offhand, right? So because they watched it, and like I said, I watched the trailer, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it looks fine. I don't get the impression of girl bossery, you know, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
So hopefully that's not what it is, right?
Okay.
So we'll
I
see.
didn't watch the trailer. I just saw the poster or whatever, but I didn't
Yeah,
really care. Like I was pretty interested in the first God of War,
yeah,
and I thought God of War 2 uh, looked pretty cool as well. But there was a lot more there was a lot more. There's a lot more talking in God of War 2 and not a lot of like action.
Yeah.
Like the game has a lot more like there's a lot more walking around than there is fighting monsters and stuff like that. So, but overall, they're pretty good games.
Yeah.
But I just never got into it.
All right, but yeah, we'll see. But then there was another trailer. There's one trailer I did watch, and I'm not
Which
sure.
one?
It's the one called "I Am Frank Helda."
What?
You sent it to me. It's from Netflix. I guess it's a new anime.
Oh, yeah, that one I think was the.
And I don't really quite get it. So
Supposed to be I guess the first Mexican stop motion film, as directed
it
by.
is.
Huh?
It is.
Apparently, that's what everybody keeps saying. I don't know how true that is or not.
Oh, sorry,
But-
that's the end.
What I really want is to be a writer.
I mean, it looks really good.
This is a
Stop
little
motion.
crazy, don't you think, buddy?
Very colorful.
This is the
Like that.
story of two realms, the world of existence and the world of terrors.
The nightmares you write no longer frighten humans. Without new nightmares, our
Yeah,
realm
this is
will
where I'm
die.
confused.
I want to bring in another writer, a human.
That's blasphemy! That's nonsense! There can't be two royal nightmare makers!
I need you to help me. Let me show you my kingdom.
How do we get there?
He literally rips your soul. I'm like, what?
Hi, old friend. Our existence depends on the fear humans have of us. We're in danger of disappearing.
And how can I help you?
I wanted to ask if you'd like to be the Royal Nightmare Maker.
You mean staying here?
Never have I been so grievously affronted! Your lover betrayed you because he never cared for you at all. Lock her up. And you will keep writing stories.
Exactly what he asked him.
I really want to trust in you, but can I?
Come with me, Francisca.
Not Francesca. I am Frankelda.
Yeah, this person. What? What is Frank Helda?
It probably means something in Spanish.
Oh, you think so? I don't know. That's the part where I'm like, I don't get
Come
it.
with me, Francisca.
I'm Frank. Like, what is Frank Helda? At first, I thought, is it play on like Frankenstein? Like she's like a Frankenstein, but she's female, or so she's Frank Helda instead of Frank. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking. Apparently, that's not the case. She's like a ghost or something, or a spirit, I guess, because he didn't kill her. He just pulled her spirit out, her soul. I don't know. So yeah, it's a little confusing to me. So because he goes, can you stay and write nightmares? It's like, okay. Then the spider guy, which is presented as the bad guy, says, oh, he lied to you. Then he says, lock her up. Then he says, you're just going to write more. And like, so she's going to do exactly what the guy asked her to do.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're going to put her in jail for why? Like, if she's going to do it, why do you need to lock her up? And how did you lie to her if she's still going to do what you need her to do, which is right? So I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. But it looks beautiful, like the stop motion animation. And it's very, for something that it kind of gives me a Nightmare Before Christmas vibes, right? It has that kind of feel.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for.
But it's very colorful, which is really cool. So,
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, the Day of the Dead, the Dia de los Muertos kind of aesthetic has always been colorful. So
yeah, Yeah, but you said it's the first Mexican or Spanish. Which one?
Yeah, I mean, on Twitter, I keep seeing it labeled as like, oh, this is like the first major Mexican stop motion film. I'm like, oh, okay. And apparently, it's going to be a.
There was one that came out years ago.
What are you thinking of?
Not Coco, but there was one that came out around the same time as Coco.
Well, Coco isn't.
That's Pixar, but I'm saying there was one that came out, and it was similar in that it was about the Day of the Dead, that kind of stuff.
Oh, is it the guy in the sombrero?
Yes, but I can't.
I think I know what you're talking about. I don't think that was. Stop motion. I think that was 3D as well, CGI.
Oh, that was 3D. Oh, okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
okay. It kind of looked like it, but I think
that's what I'm saying. I thought that was stop motion. Okay. All right. So this might be the first, or at least the first major production that it's on Netflix. So all right.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Hopefully, it's a good story, right?
Yeah.
For me, it looks interesting. Like she's writing stories, and then this creature says, "Well, we need you to write stories to create nightmares that keeps us alive." That's kind of fascinating. So, like that's an interesting twist on the idea of like, I want to write stories, and they were kind of like, all right, whatever.
That scare people, yeah.
Maybe her stories are like that, where they're more scary and twisted and weird, and so she's kind of rejected, But then someone comes and says, "Yeah, we need that," right? That's kind of
you're kind of breaking up that.
Oh, can you hear me now?
No. No.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you, but you're just coming in staticky.
Oh, okay, sorry. I don't know what to do.
All right, take your time.
It's probably our internet. It's been kind of acting up lately, so sorry guys.
Yeah, internet. But yeah, I like the animation, and
it looks quite beautiful cool. Actually. Yeah, it looks really nice. So I hope it's good. I hope it's really good. So I guess it's for kids. I mean, it looks like it's for a younger crowd, right? So.
Oh, you sound worse, Dad.
I do.
Oh, all of a sudden,
I don't know what to do.
Oh, now you're good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It must be my internet because
I don't know what was that.
It's been bad all week, like on and off. So sorry about that.
No.
But I was saying, I guess it's for kids, like a younger crowd, obviously. So, but it looks really nice. So hopefully, it's a good story. It's a solid story. So we'll see. I was just a little confused by it, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks cool. When you said you were confused, I thought you were looking at the Sonic trailer with Godzilla in it.
No, I haven't looked at that yet.
Yeah, they're putting Godzilla and Sonic in the new Sonic racing game.
Godzilla.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
Is that the Crossworlds one?
Yeah.
All right, let's check it out. There we go. All right, let's do this.
Let's do it.
So we've got the Ninja Turtles. And we've got Avatar. Wait, pause it right there. Go back and pause it on that screen. Damn, pause. Yeah.
Here.
So we've got the Avatar, the Ninja Turtles, Mega Man, Minecraft, SpongeBob, SpongeBob SquarePants
Nice.
and Pac-Man, all in a Sonic game. I just wanted to highlight that.
Sonic and everyone. Yo.
Oh,
What?
and now there's Neon
That's just out of nowhere. Like, what the heck? Out of like left field. Just throw it into the hand.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's crazy. Yo, that's coming out strong.
Oh my
A lot of
gosh.
people are starting to get sick of the internet.
That's crazy.
So yeah. Oh, by the way, Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's Sonic.
What?
It's so stupid.
What?
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
They're like,
yeah.
we already threw in the kitchen sink, sir. What else do we have? Throw in the bathtub too.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Throw in everything. Throw in the pool. Godzilla. I mean, this was enough. Godzilla was more than enough. And then you say Evangelion. So you're gonna have Evangelion and God's man. That's gonna be wild. That's gonna be wild.
Oh man, it's so dumb. I love it.
Yo,
it's beautiful. But yeah, so they're really going all out. I mean, they were already going all out, but this is like a whole nother level. But
That's
yeah,
wild.
I mean, what do you say to that? It would have been funnier if they would have stuffed Godzilla in a go-kart, but this is still great.
Well, it'll be interesting how he just going to be in the background? Is he going to be an obstacle?
Well, I mean, obviously he's going to be an obstacle. I mean, he was shooting lasers at them and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, how is he going to manifest? Hopefully, he won't just be a backdrop. He will be something in the game. Right?
Well, I mean, if you look at the trailer, he's clearly shooting lasers at them and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's true. So yeah, that's great. But Evangelion, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's kind of exciting. That makes me want to go get the game myself. So.
If there's one thing I can appreciate about Sonic racing games is that, and I'm not just talking about the new ones, but just in general, is that they always change things up in a way that's interesting. Yeah. Like they could have easily just been Mario Kart clones, but they're always something different. Like in the GameCube era, we had Sonic Riders, and it was like hoverboards and stuff like that, which they brought back in the new game. Obviously in the 90s, you had Sonic R, which was like on foot racing. It was like a 3D platformer and a racing game, which was really fun. It's always something different. It's not just like they didn't just make a Mario Kart clone and call it a day.
Yeah, I agree, and I appreciate that. So I'm sure the fans will as well, of course, right? So that's the point. Make something good, something fun, not something necessarily derivative, right? So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty intense.
It's pretty nuts. So I'm pretty excited for it. Hopefully, I think it's on PC. If I do end up getting it, it'll probably be on PC. So we'll see.
Yeah, that would be cool. I hope so. I wonder if you can get it on Steam.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't see why they wouldn't put it on Steam. I think it's on Steam.
Yeah, I would love that because I have Steam. I like using Steam because I like playing on PC. So
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I'm sure you're all excited for it. I'm excited for it.
Godzilla.
I mean, I was already sold with Mega Man and Yakuza, but they were like, let's add Godzilla into the mix. Why not? Who cares? Because we can. It's
Why
like what's it called? Sonic. It's becoming the new Smash Brothers.
I mean, that would be nice. He is a new Smash Brothers.
I mean, honestly, this should have been what Mario Kart has been doing like for years. Like they could.
I
With
know.
their
I kind of
own.
wonder. Yeah, I wonder. Well, I think I know why, but why they haven't? Because they totally could have done a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, we could have had Super Smash
crossover.
Kart years ago, but
Yeah, right.
you know, and they kind of teased it when they put in because they put Link in Mario Kart 8
right.
as DLC. That was really cool. But they could have gone all out. Like they could have put Kirby and a whole bunch of other characters, but they just don't. Instead, we got the cow from Mario Kart 64.
Yeah.
Or a dolphin. You want to race as a dolphin, Dad, in Mario Kart?
Sure, of course.
You want to race as Goomba number 3?
Who wouldn't want to?
You want to race as the penguin you throw off the ledge in Mario Kart 64?
Yeah, that was my favorite character in Mario 64, the penguin.
Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's I don't know. The thinking, I have a suspicion, but it looks like Sonic. They get it. They're like, look, we're throwing in stuff that's just awesome, right? That they know their audience. I'll put it that way. They understand their audience, and that their audience is a fan of Sonic, but is also a fan of these other things, right? That run parallel to Sonic. They don't conflict with Sonic. They don't diminish Sonic. They're in conjunction with, and that's why they're doing it. Right? They understand that, so they know there's no conflict if we pair Sonic with Godzilla.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Or
it's
SpongeBob,
awesome.
Or Minecraft or any other character. It's like, yeah, because our audience consists of fans of these other properties. That's just common sense. So
yeah,
and that's what I'm saying with Nintendo. Like when they did Smash Brothers, it was like, oh wow, okay, and like maybe they're starting to get it, but the fact that they haven't pushed it any further tells me maybe they don't get it.
Well, a lot of that was Sakurai sort of pushing the envelope, and Masahiro Sakurai is kind of
So I know, yeah, it's like
he does his own thing.
Yeah, because it's like that's the way to go, is understanding the cross market appeal. Right? That we're as a game, like you're not really competing against other games. Like you're really not. You're competing against attention. You're saying, hey guys, I'm a game over here. I'm fun to play. Come play this game, right? That's the competition. The competition is not a Sonic versus some other AAA game,
No.
Like God of War. Like God of War is not competing against Sonic and vice versa.
No, it's not.
And they don't have to. And honestly, God of War isn't competing against any other AAA game. Like you're not like. There's very few gamers that are saying, "Do I buy this or this?" No,
they're
saying,
usually buying both.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it all, right? And the only reason why you're not gonna get it is because you're just not a fan of it. Period.
Right.
Right. So there's gamers who are like, I don't care about Sonic, right? God forbid, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere. I don't care about Sonic, so I'm not gonna buy Sonic. It has nothing to do with anything else. They're not saying Sonic or this, right? It's really this and just like comics, right? You're just gonna read your favorite comic run, right? Whoever it is. But that doesn't mean you hate other comic runs, right? You're gonna read all of them that strike your attention. That's really it. So you're not really, Superman's not competing against Batman. Right?
No,
they're not. If you're a comic fan, or you're just, or even a general fan, you're gonna read all of it because you're interested in most of it. So you're just gonna read what interests you. You're gonna read like, oh, that's cool. I like that. Oh, that's, And I think sometimes these companies don't understand it. Like, your competition is not other IPs. Your competition is the attention of your customers. It's like just finding out what do they like, and then making that which they like. That's it. And then they'll just buy it because why wouldn't I buy multiples of games, as different as they might be, right?
Right.
Just because they're games and they're fun and they're interesting, and depending on my mood, I might play one type of game versus another, and that's it. So yeah, it's kind of funny, so games like this, Sonic Crossworld, just like it's almost like duh, like of course, like capitalize off that because
they've cracked the code.
Yeah, you're gonna pull in, others who maybe they weren't interested in Sonic necessarily, but they like Evangelion or vice versa. Right? If you're a Sonic guy and you're like Evangelion, who's that? Oh, and you look it up and you're like, oh, this looks awesome. Let me check it out, right? But it's always going to be a win, right? So yeah, it's kind of funny that they don't do more of that because it just makes sense. It's like, yeah, cross worlds, it's cross promotion. So yeah, it's a trip. But yeah, I love that. I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
And you showed another one, Virtual Fighter. And
yeah,
that was
that one
kind of surprising to me.
Yeah.
Just because I haven't heard that title in a long time.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Virtua Fighter hasn't been relevant in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, Virtua Fighters. I didn't know that was still a thing.
Oh yeah, there's a Virtua Fighter 5. We're up to 5. I think.
Serious?
Yeah. But the thing is that Virtua Fighter is only really big in Japan. Like over here, like in the West, the biggest fighting game right now is Tekken. But in Japan, it's always
対戦モードに関しては、格闘ゲームファンの皆様がやっぱり安心していただけるような
gameplay
を用意していて、今回そのナラティブとかを重要視してるんですけども、電源入れたらすぐに1対1が遊べるような、そういった
操作で楽しめるゲームだったんですよね。
Yeah, so there's actually like a story trailer as well.
I mean, this looks pretty good.
I mean, yeah, it looks awesome. I mean, the appeal of Virtua Fighter is that the fighting is much more grounded. So,
yeah, but yeah, I've played this in a long time. I mean, in years.
Well, yeah, you're probably thinking of like Virtua Fighter 2, where all the jumps are floating.
Too, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody looks like bricks.
It was on a PlayStation, right?
No, it was on the
Xbox.
No. Whoa.
It's on what? It's on a. I think it's on PlayStation.
Well, so no, it wasn't on PlayStation. So
was it?
No. So, because Sega was competing with the PlayStation because they had the Sega Saturn. So there was definitely you definitely saw it in the arcades. Because Virtua Fighter and Virtua Fighter 2.
Oh, I was thinking I played this at a buddy's house or something.
Okay, I mean, if it was on the PlayStation, it was probably Tekken. It was probably Tekken 3.
No.
They're pretty similar.
Virtua Fighter, so it must have been a different console than I thought.
Okay, so I mean,
but I know I played Virtua. I played it.
It
was pretty dope. So that's why I remember it. But I haven't seen it since then. That's why I'm like,
okay.
They're still making this game. Okay.
Yeah, Virtua Fighter didn't go on the PlayStation until PS2, and that was Virtua Fighter 4. Because before,
where did it come out on initially then?
Oh, arcade.
It was just arcade?
Yeah. It was ported to the Sega Saturn, but it was initially just arcade.
But then it did make it to PlayStation.
It made it to like PlayStation 2 after after the Dreamcast failed.
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm like, yeah, I know I played this game, and it was a console. It was on console. Because I didn't have it, I played it at a friend's house. That's what I'm saying. So
okay,
That's
Was it
interesting.
the blocky? Was it the blocky version, or did it look like? Did it look recent?
No, it was
Like,
kind
did
of
it look like a new game?
yeah, it was kind of blocky.
Oh, there was probably a Virtua Fighter 2. Because I know I
It
think
was.
they
Yeah,
did.
it wasn't very advanced graphic
Oh, okay. Then if I
at that
remember
time.
correctly, they did
I'm talking
port
about
Virtua.
like over. It's been like over a decade. It's
Oh yeah, no, I get it. I get
what
it.
I'm saying. It's definitely
I'm
one of
just,
the earlier games.
I do think they ported Virtua Fighter 2 for the PlayStation 2. I think there is a port of that, but yeah, it was originally like
Maybe,
an
but
arcade.
I just recall playing it, and it was awesome. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like it was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fun. But then I hadn't seen it since then. Like it was like that one period of time, and then that was it. So that's why I'm like, oh, this is still a game because I haven't heard hide nor hair of it. Like no one's talking about it, no one's posting about it. At least from what I've seen, I haven't seen it. So
I mean, yeah, like I said, it hasn't really been relevant for a long time, but it's cool that they're making a new one, and it looks like it's going to have like an actual like single player campaign with like a story and stuff like that,
okay.
which is cool because originally that's what was it Yu Suzuki? That's what he wanted to do. Yu Suzuki being the developer of Virtua Fighter, because that's what he wanted to do with Shenmue. Well, that's what he wanted to do with Virtua Fighter. He was trying to make like an action adventure like RPG with Virtua Fighter mechanics, and that evolved into a game called Shenmue for the Dreamcast, and that ended up inspiring GTA and a whole bunch of other games and the Yakuza series. I showed you Yakuza, and now the Yakuza dev team is developing the new Virtua Fighter game, which has an actual RPG story mode to it. And so it's like we're back to Shenmue. So it's pretty cool. We're back to the original vision for the game, I should say. So it's pretty cool.
Thomas, what's up? Thomas saying it would have been better without Nicolas Cage talking about Spider Noir.
Really? Why wouldn't it have been better without Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, I like Nicolas Cage. No hate on this Nicolas Cage.
Is he just?
But overall, like I said, it was good. But I mean, that's fair. I'm not gonna. I like Nicolas Cage though, but when I heard about it before I saw it, I thought he's kind of too old. Like it's one thing to voice the character; it's another to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it looked like they kind of aged him down. They probably used some kind of visual effects to age him down. So maybe it would have been better. Maybe. But who? I mean, you know what? What's his name? Ryan Gosling. I think he would have been good. I just watched Project Hail Mary.
Oh, how was it?
That is an excellent movie.
I heard it was really good.
It's very good. It's very entertaining. It's fun. It's endearing. It's heartfelt. Yeah, that's great. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's on Amazon, so you can rent it. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's really a good movie. And it's not at all what I expected. It was. I thought it would be a lot more dramatic, and it was dramatic, but I guess it'll have a more serious tone.
Serious tone to it.
And while it did have a serious tone, it still had a sense of lightheartedness. It didn't have a problem with maintaining, the somber tone of it all, while at the same time breaking that a bit with a bit of humor and brevity.
Yeah,
it was done very well. It was balanced pretty well. So, yeah, like I said, it was surprisingly good. there are things in it where you're like, okay, this is kind of ridiculous, but because the narrative was set up so well, you accept it. You're like, okay, and yeah, it's quite fascinating. Um, the story itself and everything, it's really done well and has a beautiful ending. And it's
really?
nice to see a movie that starts off with very sobering dynamic, right? It plays into the environmentalist dynamic, but it's not too heavy-handed with it or preachy. It tries to base it all in science and scientific, uh, uh, data and research. Like this isn't some pie in the sky nonsense. This isn't uh, leftist dogma narratives that's trying to lecture you and virtue signal. It was like a story where the premise was rooted in a scientific dynamic that was beyond our control, but we have to figure out a way to deal with it to save our planet. And it's like, okay, and so you can accept the plausibility of the scenario and just go with the story, and you don't feel like you're being talked down to or something, or it was just done very well, and the character development was very good, very solid. So yeah, very good movie. I highly recommend it, and all the praise it's getting and the raves, it's well earned. It's really a great movie. It's well written. It's well acted. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's really a good movie, and man, we need more movies like that. Yeah, we definitely need more movies like that.
I mean, just based off the trailer, it looks like a fun movie, and
it is, but like I said, but it even though it seems lighthearted, they show you some of the clips that are a bit more on the lighthearted side. There's still this somber tone that that sort of arcs over, right? Like it's always there, looming, and I think that's kind of where the beauty is of it. Is that despite this looming sort of issue, I guess, right? You still get these very beautiful moments of humanity and friendship. It's really good. It's a lot. There's some twist in there that happen. You're like, oh wow, okay. Like I didn't see that coming, and you're like, yo, okay. It's pretty interesting. And at first, like we were talking about sympathetic villains, right? In this movie, there aren't any villains. Like there aren't. There's no villains.
Right.
Which is, it's like the quintessential disaster movie where, the there's no villain. It's just this.
Well, yeah, the threat is a cataclysm. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a flood or whatever, asteroid, whatever, right? And it has that feel to it as well. But there's a character in it where you suspect is a quote unquote bad guy. But through the course of the story, you realize no, this person is not. Right? This person is doing what they know they have to do to literally save the world, right? So, and it's not pretty. It's a very uncomfortable thing, but at the same time, it's kind of like there's a resolve. It's like this has to be done, so I'm gonna do it, and it'll work, and it does. And by the end of the movie, it works out. And the call that this person makes, you look back and go, man, it's good that this person did it, that made that call. Try not to spoil it.
No, I know. Well, now I know what character you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. It's a great story. It's well put together. Yeah, it's just it's a lot of cool stuff.
Nice.
I think it does, you know, well, if you're a science nerd, you're gonna pick it apart and go, oh, that's not, you know, even, and I'm not. I saw some things. I'm like, yeah, that's probably not feasible. You know,
I mean, listen.
yeah,
At
but
the end of the day, it's called science fiction.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
calm down.
yeah. As long as you don't get caught up in it.
Yeah.
It's actually,
Like, obviously, you know, you don't want to get too carried away. You don't want to go full Macross. But
yeah, in something like this, yeah, you don't want it to be. But in a way,
if it's
does.
trying,
I mean,
at least it's
by the
trying.
time-
I guess
By the
what
time
I'm
you
saying.
get to the end, it kind of does go full Macross. So, but it's done. It's done in a very beautiful way. It really is. It's. Listen, this is a well-written story. I'll give you that. It really is. Because while you're watching it, you have no idea what is going to happen. You're just like, yeah, how is this going to play out? Because it just seems like you really don't have a lot of choices, right? And but it works out pretty well. So yeah, it's like I said, a good story, very satisfying, and a rare breed nowadays. You know, of just a satisfying, good story. You know, and yeah, hopefully they won't screw it up with sequels and all this, because they can definitely do a sequel. I hope they don't.
Well, I was about to ask, does it need a sequel? It doesn't seem like a movie that needs a sequel.
I don't think it does. Because if they try to do a sequel, I think it'll be like Independence Day 2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't be an Independence Day 2.
It's like you can't replicate that. That's like that's literally lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, and they tried to, and things didn't pan out.
I don't think they tried at all.
Didn't want to come back, and you know, there was a whole lot of issues with the production. They couldn't get the money. They had to use Chinese money, which means they had to put Chinese people in it and make China look.
I know what you mean.
And I think part of that is why it didn't do well as well. It's like they got the money, but then they had to compromise a lot of things. So yeah, don't do that. Just leave it alone.
Right.
And listen, like I said, Ryan Gosling was great. That's why I think he probably would have been great for Spider Noir. He would have been a great choice. So, especially for the way the character was played, I think he could have definitely pulled it off pretty well. So, but like I said, Nick Cage was good. I mean, it was good. I don't think he diminished the quality of the production, but I understand why you'd say that. Because he is kind of an odd actor.
I mean, he's Nicolas Cage. You don't really need to elaborate on that. But yeah, Thomas also asked, "Are you interested in the Supergirl movie?" I'll say I'm not. I don't care. I know I'm not gonna enjoy it. So it's like I'm not gonna watch it. And I feel that way about a lot of these superhero movies.
Yeah, I'm the same line. I don't think I'm gonna like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like Supergirl's portrayal in the Superman movie. And overall, I enjoyed the Superman movie. I thought it was okay. It was fun, you know. But that ending scene with her coming in and she's like half drunk and all that, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like this. I'm not gonna like this Supergirl because it just felt like that's not Supergirl. I've never seen. Well, I know there's a run in the comics. I haven't read it, so.
Well, not every comic run is good. So I mean, that's not really.
Yeah, not every comic run is good, and not every comic run is canon. So I don't see it as canon, and I like the portrayals I've seen in television. You know, with the Justice League series, JLU, Superman animated series. Like they were great portrayals of Supergirl, in my opinion, and I would like to see that in live action. And so even the latest one,
I don't want to see any of it in live action. I just wanted to leave it alone. I want
Well, I mean, I
people
don't
who
mind. Like, I'm just saying, if you're gonna do it, do a nice portrayal, do a proper.
I know, but
Yeah.
you already know they're not going to. That's the
Instead
thing.
of like making her this 2-dimensional. Oh, she's a party girl. It's like, and it's like, oh, she has this tragic beginning. Yeah, Superman does too. Like, and he's not a drunken idiot, right? You understand? He lost his planet also, right? He's an orphan, and he's not getting high, and you understand? You understand? Like, he's not out there going to bars, getting in fights. So why is Supergirl doing it? It doesn't make sense. That's my point. It's kind of stupid, right? Like, it's like, why would she lash out that way? It's one thing to be a tragic character. It's quite another to turn that tragic character into a bona fide jerk or a drunkard, or like, it's like, why does it have to be a correlation with depravity and being a tragic character? Like just because you went through trauma in your life, like the loss of a family or whatever, doesn't automatically correlate with now you're a drug addict. Now you're morally depraved. Like that's not necessarily true or realistic, right? So, but yet that's what you tend to see in a lot of these portrayals in the movies, etc. Is that tragic character always have to be broken in other ways. To say, well, why can't they just be emotionally aloof or distant, or or just be a normal person who's dealing with the tragedy and just trying to figure it out? Kind of lacks imagination. So that's all. That's all I mean. It's like he automatically goes there and say, well, why? Like, why does she have to? I gotta go get drunk on another planet with aliens because my planet exploded. You have a cousin who went through the same trauma. Like, yeah, you were older.
Well, I mean, you could make the argument that Supergirl technically actually grew up on Krypton and Clark didn't.
No, she didn't grow up on Krypton. She's from a sister planet to Krypton, and she was older. She was like a few years older.
That's what I mean. Is
because the space-time differential, right? Kal-El aged, and he arrived at Earth and grew up by the time she arrived, right? He turned out to be older than her, right? That's all it is. But he still lost his planet. He still has memories because he has the crystals, and depending on what continuity, where he has recordings and he can talk to his parents. Like, you understand? There's a whole dynamic here that's in play that's completely ignored to say so that she can be a drunk idiot party girl. Do you understand? Like, she has no support. What do you mean? She has a cousin. She has documents and video and recordings and different. She literally has entire histories that she can tap into. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It depends on which continuity you want to use. That's the point I'm making. Like, but you choose the one that makes her a party girl. That's all. Because you think that's so, oh, that's so hip or relatable, and it's really not. It's like, I don't think it's as relatable as these people think. So, and that's the point I'm making. Like, there's so much lore and continuity that you can tap into that has nothing to do with being a morally depraved person. Right? Because we're talking about iconic superheroes, right? Yeah, like, remember, I don't know if you ever watched Superman, what was it, 4 or 5? I think it was 4.
Which one?
He's exposed to red kryptonite, and they thought it would kill him, and instead it caused him to have a personality shift.
Oh, that's 3. That's Superman 3 with Richard Pryor.
yeah. And so he becomes basically jerk Superman, right? Like, he's going around, he straightens the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Like, it's the most vanilla thing you can do as a terrible person. Like, he doesn't like destroy the planet. He just goes, he gets drunk.
He just becomes a jerk. Yeah.
The bullets and breaks the window. Like, he does the most basic bully type stuff. Like, it's like, even though he's Superman and he's supposed to be like a terrible person, he's literally not. I think the worst thing he did was he ignored the cries for help, right? Because a ship was sinking or something was going on, right? And he ignored it, right? It was something like that. And then he arrives too late, and they're like, "Oh, it's too late." They died, and it was like a fire. I forgot what it was, but that was like the worst thing was that he just got somewhere too late. Like, so even then they couldn't like go as far as you know, you know what I mean? Like make him totally depraved, right? So it's like, and then he split, and then he had a fight with. It's actually one of the coolest scenes, right, from that series. Is
I mean, that was definitely the best part of the
good
movie.
Superman fights bad Superman, right? He's fighting himself and he wins, right? The good side wins. Like if they did something like that with Kara, right, in this current iteration, that might actually be better received, right? If it's like she literally fights her own doppelganger, who's this evil version. Good conquers evil, right? Her good side, that would be kind of fascinating to see how that manifests, right? But that's not even what's happening, right? That's not even what's happening. It's just she's an awful person, and somehow magically she's a less awful person by the end of the movie. That's basically it. So, yeah, I'm not that interested. I would like to be. It's just I don't know. I think James Gunn is not really was the right choice for handling DC properties.
Well, I mean, I've been saying this. I've been saying this the entire time. The people making comic book movies don't like comic books, and they don't like comic book readers. They don't like comic book fans. So why am I supporting the movies? It just doesn't make sense. So I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah. It seems
I just don't watch the movies.
Yeah. Like they don't really like heroes.
Yeah.
And so you think Nicolas Cage destroyed Ghost Rider?
Well, I don't know if it's Nicolas Cage's fault specifically.
I think I watched 2 of the Ghost Rider movies.
I think there's only 2 Ghost Rider movies.
Oh, there's okay.
Yeah.
I know one where he turns into an angel or something. It was kind of like okay.
That might be 2.
That was the second one, I guess.
Yeah, I think that
I
might
thought
be
there were
2.
3 actually, but
no,
yeah, I agree with Ghost Rider. I don't think he was a good choice for Ghost Rider. So I agree with that.
I mean, I guess I didn't.
I'll be honest. A lot of people were like going googly eyed over him playing Superman. Like there was an attempt to cast him as Superman.
They referenced that in the Flash movie.
That's something I've never been on board with because I'm like, Nicolas Cage is Superman?
No.
Listen, I like Nicolas Cage. I think he's a good actor.
Yeah, but he's not Superman.
He was awesome in Face Off. Remember with John Travolta? He was great.
Mm-hmm.
Great in that movie. Like a lot of other movies.
Right, but he was a crazy person. He wasn't, he was also the villain.
He plays crazy well.
Right, so he would make a terrible Superman.
Out of prison, and he's on the prison plane. That was
yeah, I know. That's why he would make a terrible Superman.
He's done great movies, but yeah, Superman, like no, I don't. That makes me. But yeah, there's these fans out there that they're like, oh man, we could have got a Nicolas Cage. Like,
no, that would have been
why
awful.
Do you see that as a treat?
Yeah, there's a reason why it got canceled because Nicolas Cage was a terrible Superman.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that was why, but I'm happy it didn't happen because I don't think he would be a good Superman. I really don't.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He'd be a Superman.
Popular character.
We both agree, but we both agree he'd be a terrible Superman.
Yeah, so I'm kind of with you on the Ghost Rider casting. I agree. I don't think he was a great choice for Ghost Rider. So, but like I said, Spider Noir. I don't know. I think he was fine. He did a great performance. I mean,
right, but yeah, but
you're right. I mean, there's definitely better choices. Like I said, I mentioned Ryan Gosling. Maybe he wouldn't have been interested, but I think he would have been a better choice to do Spider Noir.
I don't mind because Spider Noir is supposed to be like an unhinged version of Spider-Man.
Yeah, he is a different. Yeah, it's a whole different.
Nicolas Cage plays a lot of unhinged characters.
I know, so I think that's part of why.
Yeah, so they made the right choice.
Yeah,
I don't think they made a bad choice at all.
It's not a bad series. It's not terrible. It's not. It's good. It's entertaining. Like I said, I give it a B+. It could have been a lot better. And maybe doing a different casting would have made it better. That's a fair argument. So I'm not gonna die on that hill of Nicolas Cage playing Spider-Man because there are better choices. I agree.
I'm also not
that's
gonna.
A good point, actually. You're saying you could have used a no name. Yeah, and I kind of agree with that. That probably would have been better if they had used a more unknown actor. Because then, to me, when you use an unknown actor, someone who just hasn't hit that big stride yet, there's a lot more room to grow now, right? Because A, they're going to be younger, and B, they have more potential, and they're probably going to latch onto the role and really like kind of try to nail it, make it their own. So, and then if it's a series, especially, then now you can build into more seasons, all that good stuff, right? So, I think you're more apt to do that versus someone like Nicolas Cage. This is probably more like, I'm an auteur. I'm going to do this because I'm going to play this character, and it's this methodology of acting, and then I'm going to move on to another project and do this. You know what I mean? It's not meant to be a new IP that gets fleshed out over the course of 4 or 5 seasons. I doubt if that's what I was saying. I hope they do another season, but they probably won't. Because I don't think he'd be interested. Like maybe he would be, but I doubt it. Not to mention it might be too pricey because he's a big star, right? He has a big name. So unless he's willing to forego a huge salary and get paid on the back end with merch or something, who knows, right? And that's definitely possible. So, but yeah, I agree. And in fact, I would like to see more of that where you're casting more unknown, at least, or actors and actresses that are just starting out, right? Maybe they've been in one movie or one series or something, prior, but they're not like super well known, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's a good point. I would like to see that too. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, but no shade on Nicolas Cage, but yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. They probably could have done better with the casting. But see,
just be happy he's not Superman.
Part of it was the fact that he had did the voice for that same character in the Spider-Verse movies, and I think that played into it as well. Like, why not bring him over and do So I think that's part of it as well. And he no doubt went in and pitched it and pushed for it, and and he has the clout to do it, and he made it happen. So it's one of those things. What can you do? So,
just be glad he wasn't Superman.
Yeah, I'm happy he wasn't Superman. And he even did a homage to it in the Flash movie, right?
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier.
It was kind of like, oh, I'm glad they did. When I saw it, I was like, yo, that is not. I don't want to see that version of Superman. No. It looked kind of ridiculous. He had the long hair and stuff. It was like, what is happening?
He looked like one of those Hollywood costume guys that try to get you $50 to take a photo with him.
Hollywood
Boulevard.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what he looked like too. You're absolutely right. It's like, no thanks.
It's like, gonna take a picture with Superman. Buy me a McDonald's.
Yeah, you know what? I watched the first 2 seasons of Daredevil when it was on Netflix, and the first season of Punisher when it was on Netflix, and they were awesome. And yes, the casting was spot on. I love the casting. I have not watched them since they've been wrapped into the Disney Marvel stuff, although I've heard good things about the Punisher series, so maybe I'll check it out. I don't know. The Daredevil one, I don't know. We'll see. I have to sit down and just watch it, but I've heard mixed reviews with that one. So, but I agree, the casting was perfect in both of those. Like, they fit the characters very well. So that's one thing. But see, keep in mind, like I said, that's a spillover from Netflix.
Yeah,
right. Like Netflix, as much criticism as they get, they do some things right. Like, and with a lot of that first generation of those Marvel shows, like Luke Cage and all that.
I like Luke Cage.
Yeah, they did a good job with the casting and everything. So, I think the only one that was, I don't know if you say it was fumbled, but was the what's his name, the Iron Fist. Right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that was more of a story issue, not really casting. I think the casting was fine. The story wasn't really that great. It was so-so. But all the other ones, all the other shows were really good. What's his name? Was it Jessica Jones or whatever? That was good. I kind of got bored with it after a while though. Like I felt like it was taking too long to wrap it up, you know. But overall, it was good, and seeing them teamed up with Luke Cage and all that.
Yeah.
So that whole like sort of period of Marvel shows on Netflix was actually pretty decent. Like they did a good job. So you know, it's no wonder they kept them when Disney acquired, what is it, 21st Century or whatever.
Oh yeah.
They kept them because I think they were solid choices. But yeah, I'm with you on that.
Speaking of superheroes, I wanted to bring up this one independent superhero that I found out about a few months ago, and it was funny because it just goes to show that everybody has been trying to do their own superhero for years. Come up with their own superhero IP for years. And it's just funny to find like an indie creator from like the 1980s, basically. And it's pretty cool. It's definitely really silly, but it's pretty cool. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Crawfish Man, the first Cajun superhero.
And who, disguised as a mild-mannered fisherman, enters an unassuming gas station restroom and emerges as Louisiana's Cape Crustacean, who leaped out of the imagination of 38-year-old cartoonist Tim Edler.
One night, my son and I were watching The Incredible Hulk on TV, and I told him, we need a superhero right over here in Louisiana. I said, why don't we sit down and create one? So we sat down at the table, and I just drew a picture of a man with a crawfish head and crawfish arms and human feet and a crawfish tail, and I said, well, he's Crawfish Man.
9 years, 13 books later, the Cajun superhero has taken off. Edler works out of his home, and he's distributed over 100,000 copies by mail order nationwide. Stories inspired by Louisiana swamps and bayous, where he battles everything from dar, gator, and swamp wars to drug abuse. He also makes public appearances at fundraisers and store openings, and you might wonder why he does interviews with his mask on.
Crawfish Man is a mystery man, and just like Clark Kent disguises his identity, Crawfish Man disguises his identity.
Now, take a look. Wouldn't you want to see where's the Netflix adaptation of Crawfish Man? Where's my Crawfish cinematic universe?
Also. And just like Clark Kent, the return to anonymity means another change behind closed doors.
Could I have the key to the restroom?
Yeah, sure.
Who was that guy?
I don't know, but he sure looked mad.
Yeah, boiling mad.
Spanish moss in my hands turned me into Crawfish Man.
I was introducing everybody to the cinematic universe of Crawfish Man.
Yeah, that's fascinating because
now for better context though, the author Tim Edler, he actually has a whole series of books, like kids' books and stuff like that.
Yeah,
surrounding like Cajun culture and whatnot. It's not just Crawfish Man. It's like a whole. It's a whole.
But this is all before social media. And, he's doing this out of his home. And obviously having fun with it. But I think they said 100,000 copies at the time.
Yeah, and that's just mail order
through mail order. Like that's awesome. So yeah, it's like as crazy and silly as it is. Clearly he was having fun, right? it's like, man, that's not bad. That's impressive.
I mean, yeah. I mean, more power to him. You know, where's my Netflix? I was just saying, where's my Netflix adaptation of Crawfish Man?
Yeah.
Will Crawfish Man return in Avengers Doomsday?
Oh, man, that's so funny. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Also, he technically debuted before Gambit, so he is the first Cajun superhero.
Ah, really? So he predates Gambit. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But yeah, it's cool because you know, I mean, obviously it's really silly, but I just wanted to highlight this because, like you said, as a guy, he's doing this out of his home, and he's just drawing, and he's just making goofy stuff for kids.
Yeah,
and it's not just Crawfish Man. He's got other stuff. Like I said, he's got Maurice the Snake and Gaston, the nearsighted turtle. You've got T-Boy, the little Cajun. He's got a whole bunch of books. He's got a bunch of books.
Yeah. And it's all
stories around
Louisiana Bayou based.
Yeah.
You know, all based on this community. Like that's pretty sweet.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
He stayed in his wheelhouse, so to speak.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you don't really see a lot of stuff about like Cajun culture and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that was his motivation.
That game.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't try to be anything more than what he was, what his own heritage is. I think that's beautiful. That's a cool. That's a lesson to be learned. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Just enjoy where you are. You know, it's like Booker T. Washington just say, "Cast down your bucket
where you are." Yeah.
Like the value you seek is right beneath you. It's right with. It's right around you if you're willing to look for it and, you know, pay attention. So
yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah, I really like that. So yeah, it's a good example of just being creative, persevering, you know, and having fun with what you're doing. Yeah, pretty cool. You know. But yeah, man, that's all I have for today. We're past 2 hours. So, is there anything else you want to touch on before we go?
No, that was it.
Awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for your time and attention. And as always, we appreciate it. And check out our site, supergalacticfantastic.com, and sign up and get a free 12-page comic. And we're working on our latest book, Alphatron Origins. In the works, we got a couple more pages done. I've been talking to the artist, and it's just really balancing his time with other projects and everything, you know. So it's going a lot slower than I wanted to, but it's getting there. So we're just pushing through. And like I say, we got a coloring book coming out, and we're going to be making that stuff available on the site for sale for everyone to check out. So keep your eye out for that. And thanks for trusting us, and thanks for support and everything. So we really appreciate it. And yeah, have a super galactic Saturday.
We'll see you around.